One of my subjects in high school was history. I remember learning about the transatlantic slave trade and that most of the captives were from Central and West Africa. They were transported to the Americas to work in plantations as slaves. I remember our history teacher telling us about the inhuman conditions on the slave ships, which caused disease outbreaks and deaths of many slaves. The transatlantic slave trade, along with many other things I learned then, was nothing more than information I had to master to pass my exams. 16 years later, as a 30-year-old Zimbabwean woman, I had the opportunity to visit a country in West Africa, Ghana. My work in Ghana saw me traveling from Accra, the capital, to the Cape Coast. There, I visited the Elmina and Cape Coast castles. These castles have a long history of being controlled by different people. What was particularly interesting was how the castles became dungeons to trade human beings as slaves. I joined a tour around the formerly thriving slave trade centers. This time, it was just not an exercise of information collection as it had been for the 14-year-old me in high school. It was an experience that no history teacher could ever teach, stimulating involuntary Pan-Africanist responses in me. As I walked through the dungeons where female and male slaves were detained, I could almost feel, smell, and hear the pain of people who were once locked up in these poorly ventilated, dark, damp, and smelly dungeons. These captives were not just information in my history lessons. They were real people with real personalities and real lives, violently disrupted by the slave trade. I felt sad. I felt hurt. I felt afraid. I felt a cocktail of emotions. I felt the hopelessness that the captured men and women must have felt as they walked through the door of no return to waiting slave ships. Afterwards, while I was still grappling with my feelings, I watched the fishermen, their nets, their boats, and the still blue ocean stretching into the distance outside the door of no return at the Cape Coast Castle. The tour guide beckoned us to return into the castle. But before he did, he pointed up to the door of no return and said it had been renamed to the door of return. These were just the words I was yearning to hear, and I felt